I went to the corner, my friends they weren't there. They said, hey man, you want your share? I turned around and walked away. I didn't want to live nowhere. Street corners with the finest of youth.
Hey y'all, it's Douglas Scott McCarran again. This is going to be more of a movie-related video about how I edit sound. For a lot of you, this will be obvious, but it's more for people who are just starting out. I'm talking here, and then I'm going to go capture on screen capture what I do in my software, which happens to be Magix Video Pro X. As far as I can tell, most of the softwares all do pretty much the same thing. It's just the one I'm most comfortable in. And I've been using it for several years, and I just happen to dig it more. I know there are other ones out there, but that's the one I use. Okay, let's get to the screen. Hey everybody, so this is what the tracks look like in Magix Video Pro X. There are a bunch of different video editing software. It's just this is the one I use. Just to get you situated, this is the video. This right here are audio, and that's the text. You'll notice these are blued out. That means the audio is turned off. And the first thing I want to do is turn this one on. It's the final product of the audio. And I'm just going to show you why, but I'm letting you listen to it first. Then I'm going to show you why it's down here. So here you go. Hey everybody, Douglas Scott McCarran. I've actually reached what for me is an important point in my life. Okay, so put that back to the beginning. Turn that off. Oops, sorry. That blue there is you're specifically telling the program where you want to land a track, and it lands it there on that channel or on that track. So you'll notice that there are little spaces here, and below them are these boxes. What these are is, before the video began, I recorded about 10 seconds of audio of just room noise. The reason for that is when these play right here, the sound goes away. And it sounds fairly odd if you just don't have it. Also for making movies. I've gotten old enough that I now qualify for retirement from Social Security. Now, you don't hear it that much here because I'm talking, but say you had an outdoor scene and there was wind blowing in the background. If you were to just take the sound out, you would have people talking and this, and then you take the sound out, and what you'll get is blah, 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 and it's really noticeable. So that's the reason why I add this in here. This is the room tone, and you get my life, and also for making movies. I've gotten old enough that I don't know in this particular case if you can hear or not the change, but that's why that's there. Now you may have, as I talk, you may hear me going. That's just something I do unaware. And a lot of these are me smacking my lips in between talking. And I find it annoying to listen to, so I get rid of it. Another thing here, let's see if this is going to show up. So what I'm doing is clicking on how filtering out sound also. So you see this right here. This is the screen for audio cleaning, and you see dehisser is on. So I'm going to play this track right here, and you can hear it. And here we go. This is with it. Let's scroll this up here. Temporarily switch off. Hey everybody, Douglas Scott McCarran. I've actually reached and if you can hear it in the background, there's just this white noise. It's just part of the effect of having electronics. I'm working with a lavalier mic, which is hanging out roughly right in here, so it's as close as you can get, and it's still making that noise. And so you do dehisser in order to get rid of that. So let's go back here. Hey everybody, Douglas Scott McCarran. I've actually reached what for me is so if you listen to the pauses, hey everybody, you don't have that hissing going on. I've actually reached okay. So let's close that. So first thing I do is I load in my video in the Canon that I use. The audio track and the video are put together. I separate them, and then I go through and tell it to show me the waveform, and then I go through and dehiss it. Now this stuff down here that I added in is actually coming from this track. It was just prior to it. I go in, I grab my little 5 or 10 seconds of room noise, cut it out, and then I put it down on this track just so I can drop it in on all these things. So this is dehissed and this is dehissed. Then what I do, after I've got everything edited and I want it the way it's done, got it the way I like it. Sorry, I'm thinking and talking at the same time. I'm not always great at it. The next thing I do is I export this to a wave. And it's the combination. You can see all the way to the end. And all of these little lines here are me coming in. See how there are all these little breaks? So I'm going in and filling all that in. I export the whole video and save it. And then I use a program called SoundForge Audio Cleaning Lab 2, which I happen to get bundled with this software. And it goes in and clears out a lot of the other sounds. It has a lot of good filters. The original SoundForge has a pretty good noise remover, but this one, I think it's called Zeotrope, something like that. I don't want to change the screen, but they allow you to go in and really aggressively address how sounds are interacting with the voice. Because if you just remove noise, it takes the noise not only out of the background, but also out of your audio, your talking. And your talking starts sounding very electronic and stripped down. This has these plugins really get in there and remove the noise out of the voice without actually changing the voice very much. So I do that. Plus I've also got the settings set up with, I have a lavalier going into my Canon recorder. Every recorder has a different sound that it's going to have. All the lavaliers have different sounds, so I'm not going to show you the settings because you're going to have to figure them out on your own. But what happens is I have very specific settings I have specifically for when I'm talking into my lavalier that's plugged into my camcorder while I'm doing these. I apply the settings and then I export back out the sound. So originally I took these two because they cover the whole thing, exported them into SoundForge Audio Cleaning Lab 2, cleaned it up, saved it under a slightly different name, which you can see that RTN, which I put in there for a return. This is now cleaned up, and it comes back in. I put it back in here, and then the final, when I actually produce the video, I turn this off. These two, or I turn this on. These two are turned off, and what happens is the audio comes. Hey everybody, Douglas Scott McCarran. I've much more cleaned up. So I'm going to turn this off, turn these on, and I'm going to turn off the hissing thing. Temporarily turn it off. Move this off to the side. Actually reached what for me is an important point in my life as far as
you're just hearing the audio, you're not seeing the video.
Also for making movies. But actually reached
you can hear the hissing. I turn that, now I've put the hissing back on. I'm going to turn the cleaning up, turn these back off and put this on, and you may be able to hear the sound is cleaner.
Actually reached a point in my life as far as